So there's still a lot of questions about why cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to address depression might be really harmful if you're actually suffering from neurodivergent burnout. So let's take this point by point. So there's a real concern that CBT can encourage masking, especially in the case of depression treatment, right? So what we want to do when someone is suffering from burnout is we want to unmask them, right? Because it's the constant striving to appear normal and to keep up with the people around them that is part of what leads to neurodivergent burnout. And so with depression treatment, we're actually often trying to get someone, especially with behavioral activation, to engage in the world more and to do things more rather than to withdraw. With neurodivergent burnout, we want them to rest and withdraw if necessary from the world. There's a real focus on modifying thought patterns of individuals, especially with CBT for depression, and there's a concern expressed from the neurodivergent community that when they go to treatment, that this sort of modifying of their thought pattern feels like invalidation for them. They feel like they're being gaslit, and so this is not helpful for them. There's a real concern for sensory overload and sensory sensitivities, and this is part of the treatment for neurodivergent burnout, that they're able to indulge in their sensory preferences and sensory soothing techniques and take sensory breaks rather than be exposed to bombardment of the world and everything sensory in it. And this isn't something that is at all considered in depression treatment with CBT. Depression treatment often might include things that disrupt a person's routine and preferences when it comes to stress and the need for downtime. Again, the exact opposite of what someone who is neurodivergent needs when they are experiencing burnout or in general. And finally, neurodivergent burnout is not depression. It is not depression. They are not experiencing the same symptoms as someone who has depression, although people can confuse it. That doesn't mean that you can't have depression and neurodivergent burnout. And oh my goodness, there's probably not even research on this because there's limited research on neurodivergent burnout. But when a person who is autistic or who has ADHD has symptoms of exhaustion from living in the world that isn't made for them, and they're constantly performing and masking and pushing their body beyond what it should be pushed, the treatment is not neurotypical treatment for depression. It just isn't. It is often a completely different protocol.